sir.
Hello, my friend. Hello. Here we are at Thrive. One more again.
Yes, sir. Doing it again for all the people out there. I don't know what I just about to say. I was getting crunk, but then I realized I didn't know where I was going to go with that. So I had to dial it back down.
It still sounded crunk to me, bro.
It did sound crunk.
It sounded a little crunk.
What I'm talking about. All right. So, as we do about this time, what are you grateful for, sir? Or do you want me to go first today?
I want you to go first.
You want me to go first?
I always go first. You go first today.
So you're going to piggyback off of my great answer?
Pretty something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll get crunk after you're done with your answer. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Great. So, I am grateful for the gift of time.
Okay.
You like that,
I can
right?
work with that.
That's
Go
deep.
ahead.
That's deep. Okay. You know how you're doing a particular activity, regardless of whatever it is, but then you realize, had that been 5 years ago, how bad you would have went off, how cranky and irritable you would have been.
Yeah.
But then you just sit back and smile and be like, man, I guess I'm getting older.
You matured.
The patience.
Yeah. Okay.
Man, patience is a gift. I don't care what nobody says. Patience is a gift. And there's no particular thing that made me think about this, but just where I am in my life right now, I think about how had I done this thing 5-10 years ago, how stressed I would have been, how irritating and annoying I would have been to be around or even live with. But now it's like, because I've seen so many things, I've been through it a couple times on different places, that it's like, I don't worry about it because I know things always find a way to work out.
Yeah, you'll get to the other side.
Yeah. So it's like, what's the old saying of this too shall pass?
That's right.
No, that's wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we all go through stuff. We all got our storms, but hey, it's going to pass.
It's a season.
It's a season. Storms come to pass. They don't come to stay. Right? Okay, so you just got that great answer from me. What are you grateful for?
I'm going to segue right off of that. I'm not even going to pretend to come up with something original.
Okay. You're not going to plagiarize me today?
No, I'm just going to give all the credit and just roll right with that. I'm grateful because 2 years ago, last month, was a really, really rough period of my life. And even though we just said it was a season, that felt more like a decade. It was a really rough time. And what I'm grateful for was God brought some people into my life that I really don't have a lot of contact with anymore. But it seems like He brought them into that life specifically for that season to kind of help march me through that.
Wow.
And so I'm grateful. You said time, but I'm grateful for the people that God brings to us in those times of stress, in those times of irritation, in those painful moments. I'm grateful for them, and I feel a little guilty even as I tell you this, that I haven't had initiated more contact with those individuals. I need to do that. But if they're listening, I'm really glad that you guys were there, Steve and Kurt and Mike, and you guys really had my back during that rough time for me, and I appreciate you for that. So
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's a season.
It's a season. And it always bugs me out when people say they don't believe that there's a God. It's hard for me to not believe that there's something that created all of this. Because things are just, in my mind, they're just too perfect.
Yeah.
Just a woman being able to create another life in her body for 9 months, fully functional, animals do it. I mean, creation is set up to continue. There's no real flaws in it. You just look at nature. Nature is set up to continue to grow and survive and thrive. Yeah. It's all a plan. And when we go through our most challenging times, there's always some angel that's there. Sometimes you just name a couple different people, but sometimes it's that one person that has the right word, that right activity, action. I mean, it's been times where I've been so down on my luck, but I was afraid to say anything, and somebody would just pop by and be like, "Hey man, I went to the store and got 2 of these. I need one. Would you like it?" And I'm like, I mean, you gonna throw it away? I mean,
there was no way for them to know.
No way
that fits your need perfectly.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've been there.
So it's like so many times we have people and and situations happen that it got to be somebody looking out.
Yeah, that's right.
It has to be.
Yeah, I know I'm not the brightest bulb in the chandelier, and I've made plenty of mistakes.
Okay, all right.
That without the good Lord looking out for me, there's no way I'm here coincidentally. Someone literally had to intervene and go, not that one, no, not this time.
Yeah.
No, step back.
Yep.
Get back. I got my hand on that one.
I truly believe we're all connected too. I believe in this energy thing.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we're all connected.
Mm-hmm.
It's been just for the reason we just stated. But have you ever been in a situation where you know you probably shouldn't have been doing what you're about to do?
Oh yeah.
And then you get this strong that hey, you need to stop right now.
Yeah.
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 But then there's somebody else saying, "Hey, what you doing? What you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, stop! No, you know better."
Yeah.
And we are all seed sowers, and we're all fertile ground.
That's right. That's right. And we all gonna reap whatever it is we're sowing. We're gonna reap that harvest.
We're gonna reap that harvest.
You sure will.
Yeah.
That's the way of it.
You know what? That's a great place for a segue.
Okay.
I've been working on this segue thing.
Oh.
Yeah, sowing seeds, reaping. You know.
All right. Well, segue
We're
then.
gonna segue. All right. So today I want to talk about not so much the secrets to success.
Mm-hmm.
I want to kind of come back at the end and talk about, some ways to be successful. But I want to talk more about the things that keep us from being successful.
Okay.
Whether it's habits or activities or people. I truly believe that everybody has the potential to have a measure of success.
Okay.
But
I like how you guarded that with a measure of success.
I'm learning from you. The wiggle room.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, a measure of success, because success doesn't look the exact same for everyone.
Not for everybody.
Right.
Everybody's not going to be Tony Robbins.
That's right.
John Lee Dumas has probably the best podcast in business I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
He has a 7-day-a-week podcast
Mm-hmm.
by himself, and he has a guest every day.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody's not going to be able to do that.
No, that's right.
If I tried, I'd fail.
Mm-hmm. Well, and your job is to be the best version of Jamon,
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly. So I was listening to this other podcast, and they told a story, interestingly enough, about Thomas Edison, which was from where Steve is from, Port Huron, Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. All right.
And he was a rambunctious boy.
Mm-hmm.
His father was an exiled politician out of Canada. His mother was a school teacher.
Canada rough, but they politicians. I didn't know they did that back then. That was a rough place to be, man.
This was 1840s.
Exiling folks.
This happened in the 1840s. And so he went to about 12 weeks of formal education, because the teacher said he was just too difficult of a child to work with. Yeah.
Wow.
And so now I don't know how true this is, but there's a rumor that the teacher wrote his mom a letter saying that this boy, we can't do nothing with him. He needs to be homeschooled at home.
Uh-huh.
And so his mom reads the letter, and he said, "Mom, what did she say?" She said that you were a genius and you need to be at home.
I've heard that. I heard it about Einstein, but I've heard
So that was. I don't think it's true. It sounds great.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the truest thing.
Yeah.
But what is true though is he did have trouble in school,
Okay.
and they did recommend that he be homeschooled. Or
that's rough, but okay.
but his mom was a teacher.
Okay.
She could do it.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes on to basically homeschool him, to mentor him, to parent him. Mm-hmm. And we all know Thomas Alva Edison was one of the greatest inventors, in the history of the world.
Yeah. 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 You got many inventions are credited to him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
from his work.
I mean, you already said it. You're not the brightest bulb in the chandelier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That was him.
That bulb was him.
Yeah, that was him.
That was him.
What a segue.
Yeah,
Look
what a
at
segue.
you. I've been
Right.
practicing.
Hey, I'm gonna get another award. I keep on, right?
Impressive. Impressive.
But the reason I bring that story up, I want to talk first about mentorship. Right?
Okay.
Some of us are fortunate to have a parent that really pours into us, on a level that we may be deficient on.
Okay.
But most of us have to grow into adulthood and find someone, or someone finds us, that kind of mentors us and shows us the ropes and gives us, the helping hand that we need.
Or multiple mentors in different areas of your life.
Yes.
Right.
I've had quite a few mentors, and honestly, all of them showed up when I needed them the most.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They all showed up when I needed them the most. Whether it was in relationships, in business, finances, fatherhood, they all came when I needed them to come.
Yeah.
So, what do you think, as a mentee, the person being mentored, what are some of the qualities a mentee has to have?
I think humility first. I am a mentee. My mentor is a real good dude. His name is David Jones. He's out of England. He is about 80 years old.
Okay. And
I don't talk to him as regularly as I used to, because he's on the other side of the pond right now. But but every time I approach him, I come with an attitude of humility, with an attitude of you're the mentor, I'm the mentee. You have something that I need. I don't come with that attitude. I don't come haughty. I don't come bold. I mean, I don't crawl on my belly like a dog. We don't have that kind of relationship. He's not like a drill sergeant or anything like that. But there is an expectation that he knows what he's talking about, and I don't. Okay. And so I kind of approach our relationship that way. I'm the one that's learning from him. So I think humility is a big thing, and I think along with that, the flip side of humility is a sincerity and an honest willingness to learn. You have to, as a mentee, come with the expectation that this person has something to teach you, to give you, that will benefit you. And you have to be humble enough and wise enough to say, I'm going to come with an attitude of expecting to learn something and be willing to let that person pour into you. Now, does that mean that everything that comes out your mentor's mouth, you have to swallow it whole? I don't think so. No. I think it's appropriate to use filters, use good judgments, and all those kinds of things. Yeah. But I do think you have to at least have an attitude of approaching the situation and approaching the mentor as if this individual has something to give you that you need to be willing to learn that will benefit your life.
Okay. So, and that's the reason I asked the question to start with, was because well, you know what, I'm going to just say this on air. I don't have a cough button. So, like, if I turn your mic down, you can't lean my way.
Make sure you tell me that right there in the middle of the show. Because there'd be no other opportune time to hear that.
That was the best time to do it. That was the best time to do it. You know what?
All right. So I'm willing to learn.
My mentor taught me that.
Lean left when having the call.
Lean left.
Lean left. All right. I got it. It's in there. I told you I wasn't the brightest bulb now.
Hey, man. But at least you in the chandelier. I'm on the lamp on the table.
You got this, man. You got this.
All right. So look, the reason I'm bringing that up, because I think the failure to be mentored is one reason why some people are not successful.
Yeah, that's good. I think I'd agree with that.
They can know they need help.
Yeah.
But they're too, I got it, mindset. Proud, prideful, No, I got it, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. And I think the problem comes because some people are so strong-willed, and I'm guilty of this sometimes, that I think I can just figure it out. And somebody will tell me, hey, let me help you with something. Yeah. And I'm like, no, I got it. Or I don't say anything, and it's like, okay, I probably should say something, but no, I got it.
Yeah, right, right.
And so I'm guilty of that.
So what causes you to do that, do you think? Causes you to be resistant to the offer? Because you're not asking, they're offering.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right? So what causes you to be resistant to that offer of help?
In my experience, just in my early years of life, I had trust issues with immediate family, Mrs. Parents, grandparents. And so as I became a teenager, I kind of developed the mindset, if I can't trust these people, the ones that I know, the ones who brought me in this world, the ones who helped raise me, how can I trust somebody that I don't know?
Okay.
And so, as a teenager, I kind of adopted that mindset.
Me against the world.
Me against the world. And so, and what's crazy is I've always been a team player.
Okay.
I'll give, I'll pour all I got into
Right.
everybody else.
That's not the same as receiving.
It's not the same as receiving.
Right.
But I failed to receive.
Yeah, right.
And so one of the things that's hindered me in my career, my life thus far, is my inability to receive.
Yeah. That makes sense. That's kind of sad.
It's kind of sad because
Yeah.
it's like it's almost like you are. Now I ain't gonna say I ain't never been, but I've never been the guy who just walked around, woe is me.
Right.
Oh man.
Eeyore.
Yeah, I've never been Eeyore. Okay. Yeah. That's never been me.
Right.
I've always been like, okay, I got it. I'll fix it. I'll figure it out. I'll do it. And then I get to a certain level of success, and then it falls apart. I get to another level. Then I do something else, and I get to another level of success, and things are looking good, and then I fall off. And I discover is the thing that's holding me back the most. I could be whatever I need to be or want to be, but I can't do it by myself.
Yeah, right. No, I don't think true success can be accomplished, and even if it could be accomplished, certainly couldn't be enjoyed if it's a solo project.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I think that we're designed as pack animals. We're designed for relationship.
Yep.
And to accomplish even the greatest accomplishment without having people around you that can A, help you get there, or B, help you enjoy it once you arrive there.
Exactly.
I think you're missing a huge part of a well-rounded definition of what success really is.
Yeah, I mean, just a quick snapshot, the person who wins the lottery or lucks up and gets a great promotion that turns into something, now they're multimillionaires over time, but they never had real friends, or never had a family, and so now they're lonely.
Yeah, right.
Now they're trying to buy friends and buy favors, and it's a sad place to be.
Yeah,
and so I'm fortunate enough that, like I said at the beginning, the gift of time and patience, and I've seen, okay, I done this thing, I did great, but what happened to it? I did this thing, it was even better, but what happened to it? I did this other thing, and it was amazing, but what happened to it? This show, I think we got a great show.
And we do.
But is it the best show that nobody's ever heard of? You see what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Could be. Yeah.
So, my personal failure, or I want to say my personal setback machine, has been my inability to receive.
Okay. All right.
And the reason I wanted to talk about mentorship is because mentors come in all shapes, sizes, forms.
Right.
It could be a book that you read on a certain subject. It
Yep.
could be your next door neighbor. It could be your kid.
It could be a podcast.
A podcast.
Yeah.
It could be anybody or anything that gives you a piece that you need.
Right. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the sources of those could be, multitudinous. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, the day my son told me, I don't want you to be my dad no more, I want the neighbor to be my dad.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah, he mentored me for the next 6 months. It's like that. How'd that work?
Yeah.
How is this going? Did I do that right? He was like, Dad, stop.
Yeah.
He's 3. Mama, what's wrong with him? I'm like, dude, you broke my heart. I'm trying to get it right now, you know? So sometimes I think as people, we think somebody younger than us hadn't been around long enough to mentor us.
Yeah, that's our pride issue.
That's that pride issue.
Yeah, sure is.
Yeah. That's one of the things I love about the interview with Steve we did a couple of weeks ago. When we asked him what he was grateful for, he said critical thought. And how he would think about something, he'll experience it in the moment, and then he'll reassess it, and then he's able to make a change based upon the new information that he got.
Learn from it.
Okay, so we talked about being a mentee. What about a mentor? Can you be an effective mentor, or can you be an effective leader if you're not mentoring?
I would say initially, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Long term, absolutely not.
Okay, why you say that?
Well, I think good leaders produce more good leaders.
Exactly.
I think that's the highest rung of that ladder.
Yeah.
You know, is if you are grooming someone, training someone to do something or be something or accomplish something, at some point it should enter your mind, and it should become part of your agenda to have that person develop the skills that they can in turn pass it on and do it to someone else or give it to someone else. So if it ends with you, you may have achieved your own destiny, but you have not created a legacy. There's a big difference between those two things.
Yeah.
You know, and I think effective long-term leaders are able to build legacies, not just accomplish their own, you know, instant destinies.
Wow. Yeah, you took my answer.
I've been doing some critical thought on this, man. I've been ruminating on this, man.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So one of the key things that keep people from being truly successful, now for me, it was being able to receive properly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm a giver, so giving is easy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can, whether it's paying some
Right.
tithes or whether it's helping a homeless person or donating time to an organization, I've never had a problem with giving.
That's true. That's true. Very
But
true.
receiving has always been my kind of Achilles heel.
Okay.
Do you have a thing that's kind of held you back over the years?
I do.
Okay, just one.
Yeah, I'm like, do I?
Just one.
Do I? Yeah, I do. I actually wrote about it. Here's my shameless plug.
Okay.
In Vitality Letters, you know that I'm.
Wait. What's Vitality?
Vitality Letters is a book that I've written.
Okay. Can I go get it today?
No, you can't get it today.
Okay, it's still in
Yeah,
works.
it's still incompleted, but it's very close to being finished.
Okay. Check that out.
And about to give it to my editor. Anyway, so I wrote this in the book Vitality Letters, and the chapter for my kids called Longing and Lasting. In this particular chapter, the premise of the book is how does one go about creating and building vitality into their own life.
Okay.
Right? It's the premise. It's very similar to what we talk about here on Thrive. There's more to life than surviving. There's a thing called thriving, but how do you accomplish that? So Vitality Letters is a book written from a father's perspective to his children that's trying to instruct them how to make choices to bring that sense of vitality, that thriving component into their lives so they're doing more than just surviving. So that's the basic premise. But in the chapter called Longing and Lasting, which is basically about longing for the right things and then lasting long enough to attain those things when they don't come instantaneously.
Longing and lasting.
The thing that I struggle with, and I have struggled with, so I wrote about it, was distractions.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you a little excerpt from chapter 8 of Vitality Letters. Shameless plug.
Okay.
Shameless plug.
There's no shameless plug here. Go ahead, do your thing.
Distractions, eternally inconsequential things that will strive to steal your focus, will be regular temptations that you must resist. They will appear in various forms, from the mundane to the highly entertaining. They may come to you as trifles or as emergencies, but they will always come constantly and in such a way as to convince you that they are worthy of your time and attention. Do not be fooled. And I have been fooled many a times. Do not be fooled. Keep your head in the game and your eyes on the prize, which is your destiny. Because there will always be another emergency coming right on the heels of the last one. You must never ignore the important, thus your response to your calling, for the sake of tending to the urgent, the things in life that demand immediate attention but are spiritually insignificant. Instead of prioritizing your schedule, learn to schedule your priorities. And this way you will increase your capacity to manage your emergencies without sacrificing your gifts, calling, and purpose pursuits. And for me, that is just a quintessential example of what I've done. I've looked back and I spent so much time on things that were emergencies, but in a sense of what I want to do, like how I want my life to play out, they weren't important.
Yeah.
You know, they demanded my instant, immediate attention, but they didn't move me forward into my goals and into my destiny. You know, so I've wasted a lot of time because I've been distracted. You know, it's kind of one of those things where we all have to do this emergency management system deal. There's always going to be another emergency. There's another storm. There's another problem. There's another challenge.
Yeah.
You know, you get over one hurdle, you don't get 4 steps before you run into the next one.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of how life is.
Yeah.
But what I've learned is attaining your destiny and really moving forward and becoming successful has more to do with how you handle your situations than on what life hands you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
You know, so I spent so much time dealing with the stuff that life has handed me that I didn't really handle them. I let them handle me. And so I've wasted a lot of time because I've just been distracted by stuff that, you know, I felt was important, but it wasn't really significant.
Wow.
So that's kind of my deal.
Yeah, okay.
That's my hold up.
Yeah, I like that. And I was just telling a friend of mine like 2 days ago to instead of, you know, creating this schedule and all the things you got to do, schedule your purpose.
Yeah, that's right.
Schedule the purpose, right? Don't just let everything. You got this whole list of stuff. You remember Stephen Covey had the rock example. Some years Stephen Covey had he had these big chunks of rock and then these little bitty pebbles, sand, and
yes,
and then
and you put them in the jar. Yeah.
And it was like, you know, schedule your purpose. That should be the priority.
That's right. That's right.
You know, so that's the big rocks.
Yeah.
And then you take all the little rocks. The little rocks will fit in between the big rocks. But if you get those little rocks in first, you got no room for time for the big rocks.
That's exactly what we're talking about. It takes real intent to schedule your priorities. It's very, very easy, and I think it's a distraction to prioritize your schedule.
Yeah.
You know.
Man, you just said a mouthful there, Pastor.
I told you I'm on the brightest bulb, but you're right, I'm in there.
You in there. You definitely in there. You definitely in there. Okay, so we're doing a twofold thing. We're talking about the things that hinder us from success, but we're also talking about the things that help keep us on the path to success.
Okay.
So I want to throw another piece in there. And I was watching this Mike Tyson interview some years ago when he was still in his heyday.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know, well, Mike, you know, whoever this guy was, he said he had a plan for you. And he was like, well, yeah, we all got plans until you get punched in the mouth.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, that was beautiful.
No, Mike Tyson, he's never been known to be a poet.
Yeah, I do remember that quote.
But it's like, you know, but that's life. We'll spend all this time creating all these plans.
Yeah.
And okay, step 1 through 5.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And in a perfect world, great.
Yeah.
But what happens when life punches you in the mouth?
Yeah.
Do you still have the intestinal fortitude?
That's right.
How do
you handle it?
Yeah.
That's what life just handed you.
Yes.
Life handed you a punch in the mouth.
Yes, your mouth is bleeding, your nose is bleeding, and your eyes is watering.
That's what you was just handed. How do you handle it?
Are you gonna tuck your tail between your legs and run?
Yeah.
Or you gonna stand down and spit blood out and keep fighting?
But you know that is real.
It is.
That's because there are so many people that I know that spent so much time crafting these very lofty, ingenious, intricate, you know, plans.
Yep.
You know, and they've got everything earmarked from A through Z.
Yep.
But somewhere around G,
Yep.
you know, something goes off. A wheel falls off, or a fire breaks out, or they get sick, or someone quits, you know, and so now the rest of the plan just falls to the wayside because it was sequential.
Yeah.
You know, so how do you handle that? What do you do with that? I think people that are able to navigate those kinds of situations, navigate those kind of emergencies, in such a way as that they don't deter them from getting to Z, are the ones that are able to define what success is.
Okay.
You know, they're able to have those contingency plans, and sometimes they're earmarked and planned, and sometimes they're spontaneous.
Yeah.
You know, but when we get to G and G doesn't work the way we thought it was going to, we still are able to focus on, but I need to get to Z. So I'm going to have to come in here and reroute, you know, just like you do in your car.
Yeah.
You got to reroute sometimes,
Yeah.
but you know, the destination is the destination. And you don't lose sight of that just because you missed your exit.
Yep. And so I think that's another thing that keeps people from really realizing their success. they think they know where they want to go,
Mhm.
but what's the old saying that if you're not sure the any direction to get you there,
Mhm. Mhm.
it's like now this is
Yeah,
a
if you
little
don't know where you're going,
yeah.
anywhere will do.
And anytime a roadblock comes up, you was headed north. Now you got a detour, and then you going back south,
Yeah.
or you going west, because you really wasn't set on what it was. And this is something that I think a lot of people run into early in life, and at some point figure it out. It's when you ask somebody, what do you want
Mhm.
to do in life? What's your ideal life? I just want to be free.
Yeah.
Okay, what does that mean?
Yeah, what's that look like?
Yeah,
Right.
okay, I want financial freedom. Okay, cool. So that means you want a certain amount of money in the bank. You want it to be debt free.
Mhm.
I mean, there's a lot of ways to achieve that.
Yeah, you could be debt free and living in a trailer.
Yeah,
A homeless man is debt free.
Well, some of them. But yeah, you could really be homeless and be debt free.
Yeah, yeah. So
what
you
do
need to
want
put some
be?
parameters on that.
Yep.
Define it a little more.
But there's another piece that's missing as well. Why do you want financial freedom?
Mm-hmm.
The why is more important than the want.
Mm.
Because it's the why that's going to get you through the hard times when you get punched in the mouth.
Mm.
If I'm going to school to get my grandmama out of a bad situation,
Mm-hmm.
well, I don't care what's happening. I'm going to keep going to school. I'm going to keep working. I'm going to keep busting my butt because I got to get my grandma out of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
If the baby is sick, you remember the movie
Yeah.
John Q?
Yeah, that's right.
Your son need a transplant.
Yeah.
Now, had it been you might have been like, we still waiting on the list.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But that's my son. No, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do.
Mhm.
That why is stronger than any hardship.
So the why creates the perseverance.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think that's what most people miss. Is we'll have the goal set up,
Mm-hmm.
we'll have a plan set, but then when Tyson come and punches in the face,
Mm-hmm.
that why is not strong enough,
Mm.
or we don't have a why, so
Yeah.
we quit.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, we all have.
Yeah.
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 Because sometimes some things are just good ideas. Some things just sound good. But it's the thing that from our heart, like how we are about parenting.
Mm. Yeah, that's true.
You can't make me not parent my kids.
Yeah.
If I'm across the country, guess what? We're going to FaceTime.
Mm.
We're going to talk regular. I cannot be a deadbeat dad.
Yeah.
Because my why is I don't want my kids to have the childhood I had.
Yeah.
I'm determined to not give them, but help so they can experience, not like the financial or monetary stuff. I want them to experience love.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to know what it's like to have a parent you can go and talk to at any time and feel comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
I want my kids to have, that's my why for being a father.
It's funny how that why expands, because initially, that was my why as well. And now I find myself praying for, because now that my kids are older, I got a 25, 17 this one.
Yeah.
And I find myself praying and thinking about, okay, I need to get this done for my grandchildren.
Yeah.
That why
That
expands.
why has expanded, yeah.
I got to make sure that my grandchildren get a chance.
Yep.
I got to make sure that they get a shot.
Exactly.
So I'm going to do this now to help prepare them. Because I tell my kids somewhat regularly. I say, your past runs through me,
Mm-hmm.
but my future runs through you.
Yep.
So I have to try to establish to set you up for success, because you're going to be the ones that tell my legacy.
Yep.
You're going to tell my story.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to be the ones that are going to tell my great-grandchildren what their great-grandfather was like and who he was. You know what I'm saying? So I have to do what I can now to set them up so they can't say, oh, great-granddad was a bum.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And most people can't tell you what their great grandparent looked like,
Mm-hmm.
but their great grandparent ain't got a clue.
No.
Ain't got a clue.
No. I don't mind.
Especially in our community.
Yeah, I'm saying I don't know mine.
Now, the only reason I know my great grandmother, because she lived to be 98.
Okay.
So she passed when I was 20.
Okay. Oh, wow, yeah. So you did get a chance to know
Yeah,
your
so I got
great-grandmother.
my grandmother passed 10 years before that, before her mom did.
Really?
Yeah. And
Wow.
she passed at like 65, 66. My great grandmother lived to be 98.
Oh, man.
So she outlived all of her parents and siblings and
And children. And
children.
some children.
All her children. She outlived
All her
children. Yeah, my grandmother was her last kid, and she buried her.
Good Lord.
And our friends, I mean, when she finally passed, it was nobody from her era still around. It's kind of off topic a little bit, but I just imagine, man, how lonely she
Yeah,
must
that
have
must be
been.
hard. That would be hard to bury.
Yeah, everybody.
Not just your own generation, but
Yeah.
the generation that came after you.
Yeah.
That
I
would
mean,
be
you
hard.
buried basically everybody
Yeah.
that knew you any amount of time.
Yeah, that's right. Oof.
Yeah. But anyway, back getting off of that one, the why. A lot of people fail because their why isn't strong enough.
Okay.
They'll want to be financially free. They'll want to build this big business. They'll want to have this relationship.
Yeah.
But the why isn't strong enough.
Yeah.
They got into it because it was sweet, it was cute, it sounded
Mhm.
good. Somebody said y'all a good couple.
Mhm.
Somebody said this is a great tip. Go build this business. It's the new wave.
Yeah.
But if your why isn't strong enough when you get in there,
Yeah.
and when hard times come, you're gonna flake out.
Got punch in the mouth.
Yeah. So you gotta know your why. You gotta know your why.
What else? What else is another habit that's required for an individual to accomplish success? What would you say?
I touched on it a little bit when I said, the term determination, the will, because but that goes right along with the why.
Right.
If you have a strong enough why, then you're willing to do whatever it takes, right?
Right.
And I think another thing though is time management.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
think we trip ourselves up because, okay, if I get behind on a project or I get behind in general, now I'm trying to work 18, 20-hour days
Yeah.
to get caught up.
Yeah.
But how effective am I really working that hard and that long?
Russ, that makes so much sense. So much sense.
I'm going to burn myself out.
That's right.
I'm going to be in my feelings, and I might get work done, but it's not at the quality that I would normally do it.
Yeah.
Or I'm so stressed, I can't even enjoy it.
Yeah.
So what I've learned on this tip is to work until you feel like, I need a break.
Mm-hmm.
Take a break.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's going to be there
Mm-hmm.
when you come back. It ain't going nowhere. Nobody ain't going to do it for you.
Yeah.
Take the break you need. It ain't got to be a 2-hour break.
Yeah.
It could be a 5-minute walk down the stairs, go check the mail, talk to a neighbor for a few minutes, and come back and start working again. It could be stop to cook a meal for the family. It could be just go sit there and check your emails for a few minutes. But I was guilty of this. And how people say, I'm hustling, I'm working hard.
Mm-hmm.
But when I first said I was going to start building my business,
Mm-hmm.
I would set up my workstation and I would start working. And then first thing I would do is I'd either cut on some music that I liked,
Okay.
or I would cut on some Netflix or something for like background noise, right?
Okay.
Because I need background noise for me to focus.
Oh, okay.
And so I would start working, and then I glance up at Netflix, and
Oh no.
next thing you know, I'm looking at it. I'm still working now,
Uh-huh.
but I'm looking, but I'm working. And next thing you know, the phone done rang. So
Uh.
then the phone rang. Now I'm talking on the phone, and I'm watching Netflix. Then the next thing you know, my little alarm go off telling me I got to do something else. Then I'm like, let me put this off for this real quick. Then next thing you know, 4 hours done gone by,
Yeah. Focus. You lost focus.
and I ain't got anything done.
Yeah.
So now this is when I get stressed, because
Okay.
now it's time to pick up the kids. Now it's time to cook dinner or do help with homework, and now I just lost another 3 hours right there.
Mm-hmm.
So now everybody's going to bed and get what am I doing? I'm trying to
You're
burn the
at work.
midnight
Yeah.
oil
Yeah. Yeah.
because I didn't manage my time properly.
Yeah.
So now I'm cranky with the family like it's their fault. I'm so guilty of that.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I was saying. I think that's the flip side of the distractions, and the ability to stay focused. And I think it's such an excellent point that you made with taking a break, because that is not the same as a distraction.
No.
Right. Taking a break allows you to stay focused when you are engaged at work, you know. And if you're engaged and your mind is being pressed and worked hard and you're burning up all that brain power, knowing that you're going to get a break at some point. And then the trick is, once the break is over, getting back to it.
Get
right?
back to it.
That's the trick.
Yeah.
But knowing that you're gonna, okay, I said I'd get this much done, or like sometimes when I'm writing, I say, okay, I'll set a goal. Okay, I need to write 1,000 words or 500 words or whatever, and then when I'll get to, if my goal, let's say my goal is 700 words, and I'm at I'm at 550, but that's pretty close.
Yeah.
And every sentence starts getting harder. So now I'm writing through mud. You know what I'm saying? For those of you that have done some writing, you know what I'm talking about. You're writing through the mud.
Yeah.
But if I'm able to say, wait a minute, I've set a reasonable goal. That's a reasonable expectation, 700 words. I had enough energy to start to do this. If I stay focused, I can get that accomplished. You know, I'll do that. Sometimes I'll get to 700 words and I'll have my second breath. You know what I mean? And I'll be able to keep working and keep writing. But sometimes, even though I'm still feeling, okay, you know, I could do another 200-300 words, or whatever the case may be, I'll say to myself, no, I said I'll break at 7. I'm going to take my break now, and then I'll come back. Yeah. And that has been able to make the difference in whether I'm accomplishing and moving. Because remember, it's about moving towards your goal, moving towards your destiny, moving towards that definition of success is. And so when you have good work ethic and you train yourself to manage your time, to not be distracted, to stay on point, to keep focused, when you're doing those things, you're going to be able to set out your schedule and set out your time in such a way that you're getting your nice healthy breaks, and that you're not constantly, but you're consistently. You're consistently moving towards that goal that you've set for yourself.
That's right. That's right. Well, look, I'm kind of full right now. This has been some very rich content, and I thank you for chiming in, because it's been something that's been on my heart. It's not, I ain't gonna say not bothering me on my heart, but it's been on my heart because of the journey that I'm on.
Right. Yeah.
And I find myself sometimes I'll not get down when things aren't going right, but I find myself letting myself get distracted instead of staying on task.
Right.
I'll let myself get a little bit distracted, and then I'll hang around a couple different people, and then they'll kind of recharge my battery. And so, which goes back to the first point, you know, you can't do this thing by yourself. You have to have a community of people that support you, that believe in you, that trust in you, that want to see you do well. Because this road that we're on, it's hard.
Let me ask you one more thing. You just got me thinking about something here. When you define success, do you define it as a huge accomplishment and getting, let's say, the end goal? Let's get into point Z, right? You know that you established your plan or whatever, and you're starting at A and you want to get to Z.
Yeah.
So when you define success, is that accomplishing, the only thing that matters is accomplishing point Z, or do you have, like, set yourself up for many successes along the way? You know what I'm saying? So, like, okay, so when I take some time, when I get to step 5, when I get to letter G, I'm going to take a minute to celebrate. You know, celebrate what I've accomplished thus far. Or is that like, you haven't done that and don't celebrate yet, just keep pushing. Don't stop till you get to the end zone kind of deal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how does that work for you?
For me, primarily, I always try to keep what I call those short, attainable goals.
Yeah. Okay.
I try to make...
it's 10 yards at a time, right?
Yeah.
You'll get to the end zone eventually, but let's celebrate these first downs.
Yeah, I try to keep what I have is I call checkpoints. I intentionally try to create small victories.
Okay.
You know, okay. Now, what I have trouble is trying to decide where do I want the small victory to look, what I want to look like sometimes. So what I do is I'll create a point. This is So what I do is I'll have a point where I'll get to a stopping point and says, okay, now let's reevaluate what's happened. I did this, I got that situated, and I'm happy with it. Let's take a break, let's go celebrate.
That's right.
And I try to create momentum, successful momentum, by taking those small breaks, those small checkpoints. 1, to reward myself. 2, to encourage me to keep going. Because when you building this thing called entrepreneurship, like with this podcast, when we started this podcast, we had no idea how many people were gonna listen. If we even had any chemistry, we decided we were gonna do something that we both were passionate about. And today,
try to help folks.
This month gonna make a year.
Is it a year? Yeah.
This month will make a year.
We gotta celebrate.
We gotta celebrate. It's a milestone.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are we gonna do?
We'll tell everybody next week.
Yeah.
So keep listening.
Yeah.
Now next week, when you ask me what we gonna do,
Okay, so you have answer by next week.
I'm gonna have it next week.
Okay. Wow.
I'm afraid you're gonna hold me to that, man.
Oh, I'm gonna hold you to it.
Okay.
I am gonna hold you to
All
it.
right.
It's been a whole year.
Yeah.
Wow. You hear that, America? A whole freaking year. We've been
Doing
doing
something.
this.
We're doing something.
Well, anyway, okay. So what are we talking about?
I think we're talking about celebrating small victories. Sometimes I mean, football season coming up, so I'm thinking,
Okay.
in sports analogies very easily. But one of the things that I have to remind myself is, you want a touchdown,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have that. It doesn't. Not every touchdown has to be a long ball.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
10 yards at a time.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just 3 yards per play.
3 years. Yeah. You know what?
You know what I'm
I
saying?
tell my son the exact same thing.
Yeah.
All you need is 3 yards.
Yeah, exactly.
3 yards per down.
Exactly.
And then the checkpoint is that first down.
Mm-hmm.
Then you celebrate first down. We live to do 4 more.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why the football teams keep that stat, right? That's not coincidental.
No.
And they measure how many first downs are we getting,
Yeah.
and what quarters are we getting these first downs? I mean, because that's an important stat. That's a celebratable accomplishment.
Yeah.
And I think if we can translate that into our long-term success goals,
Yeah.
I think the people that are able to do that, 2 things that happen. Number one, they're able to persevere more. They're able to take that punch in the mouth and understand, okay, so I lost 2 yards on that play. I still got 2 more plays.
Yeah.
To make that first down.
That's right.
I think that's one thing that they accomplished. The other thing is they're building up their stamina so that they're prepared when they get into the end zone. They're hungry.
Yes.
When they finally see that light.
Yeah.
They're super, super hungry. And it's very, very hard to deter a man that's super hungry and sees that light.
That's right. Look, I always find it funny how every time you ever notice every time you make a plan and then something comes against that plan as soon as you make it.
Mm-hmm.
Say, okay, I'm gonna cut out my sugar this week.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to work and somebody bring a bunch of donuts or a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of cupcakes. So yeah, you know that kind of.
Sometimes that person is me, but yeah, go ahead. Talk about self-destruction.
Oh man. But the same is true though. When you accomplish your goals, when you're moving toward what you want, somebody's always gonna help you celebrate.
Yeah.
You ever notice that?
Not all the time,
Not
but
all the
yeah,
time?
not all the time.
Well, in my experience,
Sometimes I feel like I'm by myself.
celebrating.
Yeah.
I ain't never known about a missed party.
Well, I'm saying, because sometimes, it's an accomplishment for me, but you feel like everybody else would feel like, man, you ain't done nothing.
Okay.
So you got 1 first down. What you
yeah.
celebrating for? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you ever notice when you get that first down, the crowd cheers?
Yeah.
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 It's always somebody there to celebrate with you.
Yeah.
You just got to look for it.
Yeah.
But you guys just joined us. We're talking about success today and the things that keep people from being successful. And also things and tips that can help you become more successful, or at least stick to it.
Give yourself a chance
Give yourself a chance. Give yourself a chance.
to thrive.
Yes. So you got any closing words, man? I think we've had a good show.
Yeah, I think if we're able to do some of the things that we've talked about today, is to stay away from the distractions, understand what your distractions are, set yourself up for success.
Yeah.
If you're able to persevere and make a plan.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't plan, but
Yeah.
understand
We have
that
a
when you
plan.
get punched in your mouth, you got to reroute.
That's right.
You don't sit down.
That's it.
That ain't the end of it.
Nah.
You got to reroute. You got to come up with a plan B, C, D, all the way through. If you're able to make those adjustments kind of midstream, spontaneously, I think you will set yourself in a position where little by little, down by down, yard by yard, you can accomplish your goal
Yeah.
and attain that success.
Yeah. And the greatest thing that I've done in my life is learn to manage my time. Oprah, Bill Gates, they get the same 24 hours that I get.
Yeah, that's right.
If I'm spending 6 hours a day watching Netflix,
Watching Oprah.
watching Oprah,
Watching Oprah manage her time.
watching Oprah manage her time, and I'm spending another 2-3 hours cooking and doing for the kids and doing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Doing everything, and then I want to do my business for 3 hours. Well, I'm going to lose. I'm not going to be as successful as I want to be.
That brings me up another point. Just because something's good doesn't mean that it's necessary.
Yeah. Everything isn't worthy of our time.
That's right. That's right. And it may not be a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's just, is it moving you forward
Yep.
to what you say your goal is, to how you define your success?
That's right. One of my best friends, if you call him between the hours of 8 and 7, you will get voicemail.
Wow.
He don't answer the phone.
Yeah.
Unless he see it ring.
Yeah,
He
right.
see the text messages come through. But when he's working, he working.
Yeah.
If the only call he answers is if it's the kid's school calling.
Yeah.
Outside of that, we already know. Don't even
Focus.
call.
That's that focus.
Yeah. And I've watched his company grow in the past 2 years because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was being dragged away having this conversation with this person and that person, and I'm like, man, I need to take a page out of that book right there.
Yeah.
Because he has grown by leaps and bounds because he prioritized his purpose.
Set himself up for success. Turn your phone off, people.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. You can get back to them.
They call it to stress you out anyway.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I'm good. Are you good?
I'm good. I'm good.
All right, America. We'll talk to you guys next week.